What is better, playing a video game through a TV or playing a game in person in a room or field? The church fathers would probably say through a TV, while modern man would say it is better in person. This is the same way with patristic and Renaissance art. They would both have two separate opinions about what would be better, and this painting shows us why. Looking at the Francis of Assisi in Ecstasy, painted by a Renaissance humanist artist named Bellini in 1480. During this time period of the Renaissance, paintings were changing into a more naturalistic art and making the picture as realistic as possible, with a focus on the nature and the human. The Francis of Assisi in Ecstasy is one of the many Renaissance paintings that were different from these patristic paintings. Bellini used this painting to present the Renaissance example of the transcendent shifting to the immanent and how man approached the divine through humanist and naturalistic ideas. Instead of focusing on the divine, the Venice artist Bellini paints this picture to focus on the realistic quality of the picture, which is very interesting because before this art piece, Bellini's work had a religious feeling to it, and only until 39 he decided to remove this religious feeling. To give an example, before the naturalistic style of painting in the Renaissance, patristic art often had the religious feel and connected to the transcendent. Patristic art was not caring for how real it looked, but the feeling that the images were divine. It was not trying to show off the human in the image, but it wanted the viewer to see God and His holiness. As you can see, first the halos are very visible, and there is the elongated figures with the toes pointed in a weird way that does not look very realistic at all. Even the light is portrayed with visible rays. All of this is trying to emphasize the holiness and divinity of these people and trying to show God through them. But in the Renaissance painting of Francis of Assisi, the plants are identifiable by species. There is no visible halo above Francis of Assisi's head, and the light is not clearly visible, but you can see the brightness of the picture. Bellini tries to highlight the realism in nature, and through nature, one can find the divine. With the background, everything is made beautiful and alive, such with the plants and animals. And the divine is seen within this beauty because the divine fills all things. This is much different than from the patristic paintings because the patristic just focused on showing the transcendent, while now the Saint Francis of Assisi focuses on nature and human, or the immanent, to now approach the transcendent. Now the focus of humanistic and naturalistic ideas of the Renaissance shifted the patristic art subject from transcendent to the new Renaissance idea of approaching God through the fallen world or the immanent. Art has changed from acting like a window in the way that the viewer is able to approach this transcendent image like looking through a window, to actually being able to step into this new image or world like in St. Francis of Assisi in Ecstasy, almost like how you would enter a new room with a door. The St. Francis of Assisi in Ecstasy gives the example of a shift from how humans approach the divine. The result of this shift is also seen in modern times, like what I am doing right now. In the Meta, I'm able to put on goggles and step into this entire new world to do whatever I want, acting like a door, and just like the painting of St. Francis of Assisi, I now approach the immanent instead of approaching this transcendent.